and welcome to Ask the County, Peoria County's video segments where we talk with local elected officials and appointed officials about their offices and special projects. I'm Gretchen Pearsall, and today I'm speaking with Jamie Harwood, our Peoria County Coroner. Jamie was elected in 2016 and has been serving since. Thank you for coming on.
It's great to be here, Gretchen. Thank you.
And today I want to talk a little bit about organ and tissue donation, which is also a part of your office. I know you speak to family members about things and different things. So tell us just a little bit about how that process works if people want to, sign up.
So part of the reason I wanted to talk about organ and tissue donation, in 2012 I actually donated a kidney to a friend of mine who since then became a grandmother. I think something that would have probably never happened had she not received that kidney. So I knew when I got elected into the coroner's office I wanted to fulfill my passion of giving back and giving life to other people. So a lot of people don't understand the difference between organ and tissue donation, or are they in tandem, or are they separate? And so we can have a little conversation about that.
Tell us more about the differences there.
So when we talk about organ donation, we're talking about someone who's been declared brain dead. And in order to give up your organs, obviously you have to be deceased, but you have to be brain dead where your organs are maintained on life support. So with that being said, once the declaration has been done with the time of death, of brain death, and that's another mystery, is brain death is your official time of death, period. Once that's been declared, then the Gift of Hope, who is our local organ and tissue donation partner that we work with, they will start trying to match organs for recipients. Once that part is done, then they will take you to the OR and they will take out your organs and they will take them and send them to the appropriate place where the match has occurred, which is awesome. So it's with mixed emotions. You have a family who's going through literally the worst part of their life where they have to say goodbye to their loved one. And then on the other end of it, you have a family somewhere getting ready to get life and to have this revitalization of their own self with receiving an organ. So it is a bittersweet exchange, of course. So that's organ donation. Tissue donation is done when someone has been declared heart dead. And that means basically if someone's been pronounced dead, we have 24 hours to get consent from the family to go ahead with tissue donation. So tissue donation is long bones, skin, cartilage, corneas, and heart valves. And we have up to 24 hours from a last seen alive time to fulfill that wish of donation.
I see. So is that something that families usually mention to you, or maybe you see? I mean, sometimes we talk about people on their driver's license, they have something. Is that something that you happen to notice, or how does that kind of work?
And that's a great question, and it's kind of a mixed answer. Some families will say, my loved one wanted to be a donor, and they sign their driver's license. Other families will say, well, I don't really know what their last wishes were, and when we look at the license, we see that they were a first-person consent. First-person consent is indeed when you sign the back of your driver's license to be a donor. That means that was your last wish, and we do our very, very best to fulfill that because that was your desire before you, a choice that you made before you passed away.
I see. So I would think you would also, I know sometimes we hear the point that if you do sign your driver's license, make sure your family also knows your wishes as well.
It's a very good point because especially when it comes to tissue donation, if your family doesn't know, or they might be against it if they don't know your last wishes, they can't say no because of first-person consent, but what they can do is withhold information that's vitally necessary to fulfill donation. So the Gift of Hope will call a family and they're going to ask medical history questions, medical questions, and things like that. That is going to need to be answered. Well, if the family member doesn't know that was your last wish, they may not fulfill that based on their own personal beliefs.
I see. Yeah. So you talked about tissue donations, and that was a lot of different items. So how many people can, if that's your last wish and you want to give, how many people can that help?
Hundreds of people. Literally, more than 100 people can benefit from a tissue donation.
Really?
Especially when we're talking about skin, cartilage. And I like to use the example of people who are very strong supporters of breast cancer and breast cancer survivors. Well, the women who suffer through radical mastectomies or mastectomies, and they have to have radiation and things like that, skin can actually be used from a donor to rebuild the said tissue of the breast. So it's very, very important for breast cancer survivors to have skin donors and tissue donors. Also, with people who have been through a burn and suffered a significant burn can benefit from that tissue. But also, long bones can be used for people who have had been amputees or whatnot. And heart valves, so important for heart valve transplantation as well. So there's literally 100 some people can benefit from a tissue donation.
So the best way to make your wishes known, would you say the back of your driver's license? There are other ways?
Sign the back of your driver's license, but most importantly, let your family know what your last wishes are. It's a little cliche for me to say when you're dead it's too late to let your family know, and that's pretty obvious, but so if you let them know ahead of time what your last wishes are, then we can do our very best to fulfill. Now, another myth that I'd like to bust is if this is a criminal case or a case where we're going to have an autopsy performed, does that impede donation? And the answer is no.
Really?
We work very, very closely with our pathologist in Peoria County who do our autopsies, as well as our state's attorney's office, to dialogue about, will this affect the case and on a criminal case? And the answer is no.
Okay, well that is very interesting.
So we can fulfill organ donation for someone who's been pronounced brain dead, and we can do tissue donation as well.
Interesting. Well, is there anything else you'd like to talk about on this topic?
Sign your driver's licenses.
Okay.
Let your families know. So many people can benefit from an organ and tissue donation from someone who's passed away. And it's difficult. Okay, I want to reiterate, we know it's bittersweet. And my team at the coroner's office, particularly the deputy coroners, work very closely with the families and very closely with our pathologists to make it happen.
Right. Well, Jamie, thank you for joining us today here on Ask the County. We really do appreciate you coming out.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And we'll also include in the links below a website, The Gift of Hope, as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.